Greetings, fellow traders. We are live. Let me get this tweeted out here. So, 1 second. So a little bit late there. Apologize about that. Had a little issues getting the broadcaster loaded up. So hopefully everybody's catching this here. Good, good, good. Good evening, good evening. Hope everybody's doing great. Sorry for the delay there. Like I said, broadcaster was a little bit having some was being finicky there, getting loaded up. So before we get started today, looks like I lost something there. Hold on. Well, anyway, hopefully you saw that. Everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So let's take a look and see where we're at in the market. So today is Thursday, October 24th, 2019, and the market was up 5 points today. It seemed like a busier day than that. There was a lot of great action today. In a few different names. SPX really wasn't that busy. So, but so far the SPX has a hammer month so far. Which is pretty good, right? So, how many more trading days do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trading days left. So to hold this month up. So let's see if that candle can hold. So far, the weekly chart is good. It's holding up in the upper end of the range of the of last week, so that's good. And in fact, the futures are actually okay. The Nasdaq surprisingly is green, despite the fact that Amazon is gapping down 120 something points, right? So, maybe it'll just fill the gap tomorrow. We'll see. So that'll be very, very interesting to look at. Daily chart, we've got a hanging man up here, so we're just kind of hanging on the daily. So a little bit, that was kind of like the scary part here. We did finish green, but it was a little bit red today on the day. What we wanted to do is close above Tuesday's highs bullishly with some increased volume out of the ES, out of the SPY, to see if we can work our way back up to the top of the channel, right? And so that's what we've been seeing here. This kind of slow move up, right? So we're over this trend line right here, trying to work our way up to the top of this channel, right? So it's just has to prove itself, has to get some strength. So, maybe it's waiting on news, right? Maybe it's more trade deal news. Who knows? There's interest rate stuff or something like that. Whatever it is, it needs to find that power to get its way up there. Otherwise, it's going to drift its way back down to the pitchfork median line. Let's take a look at the price action today. These are the I know it looks a little bit sloppy right here. These are the levels that we give to our subscribers every market day or before every market open, so we can use them to trade successfully, especially with the SPX. We use these levels on other time frames too. Now, really cool thing, I talked about this in the free market wrap today. Thursdays have a 80% chance of fading the gap. So when you gap up or down on Thursday, right, you have a pretty good probability that it's gonna fade it. Now, is that what we do right away? No. What do we look for price action at key levels to do that? Absolutely. And so we can see right here, we gapped up. This is the 5-minute chart. So we gapped up, right? And you could see, you could see that we put in a topping tail right up here that actually ended up forming the 15 orb high, right? And we put a bearish bar in through the R2 level, right? We came in lower shadow at a volumetric level, so it was holding volume. Once it pushed through there, right, it started to give us some confidence that, hey, maybe this thing was going to drift a little bit lower. Then we had 3 levels of support. Now we have the 15 orb low, right, which came up off of, right? We had the R1 level, and then we had the weekly R1 too, I believe. And so we had all these, and once we pushed and thrust through those levels, right, that was kind of like almost a gimme that gap was getting filled right there. So that was nice space between those levels, and it was a chance to make. We looked at this today in the live stream, and I think it was like almost 2 points it could have made off of that as it pushed through the prior levels too. So in a way, it was worth it to trade it on the SPX today. So that was 2 points, which makes for a good daily move, right? Then it consolidated here, came back, retested those levels, held the volumetric lower, came back down, tested it again, back up, back down, and then kind of slowly drifted its way back up to the end of the day. So pretty amazing stuff. Okay, so from there, good, we're good. Let's take a look and finish our conversation this week on the 60 anchor. Hopefully everybody kind of understands, what's going on with it. It is the last 60-minute bar of the day that goes inside, right? Inside 60 anchor, I like to call it. So you can see we had that 60 anchor right here. It's colored yellow. It's on the 60-minute chart, right? Remember, we start the 60-minute chart at 9:30, right? So for anybody that doesn't know, you can set your aggregation period in Thinkorswim. You just can't do it on the mobile app. So TradingView does it automatically. Sometimes you have to set it on Thinkorswim. Anyway, so we talked about the gap and go, right? We talked about opening in the range. We talked about reversals, right? We talked about the definition of it, right? So we've covered all that this week. So today, what I want to do is go over the importance, right, of the 60 anchor in levels. And we'll actually be able to see this with the SPX right here. So as you know, we like to trade with levels, right? So how important are the 60 anchor levels? Well, they're very important, right? We've already established that, right? So, but they can form key levels that we can trade off of. So if we go back to, what day is this, real quick? Okay, so this day here we had this gap up where we closed. It was 1016, right? So if we go back to our 15, or we can go to our 5. All right, 1016. What we'll do is we'll add the studies, edit studies. I'll add the 60 anchor so it'll draw it for me. I think that's it. Let's see. Pretty sure this is it. One sec. Here, 16. I just want to make sure it goes back that far. Here it goes to the 17th. Okay, that should be right. Studies, edit studies. If not, I'll draw it if I have to. But let's just take a look here. I can't remember. Let's go 10 days. Okay, so this is the 16th. So there we go. It's drawn right here. Okay, see these levels right here? Very, very important stuff. Okay, so studies. Which one was it? I'm pretty sure it was this. Okay, good. All right. So you can see right here how important this level was. Now, it didn't actually touch it this day, but it automatically drew. These were the 60 anchors level, right? The 60 anchor level. So this is, not showing. If we go back to, that was the 17th, we go back to October 17th, use these levels. Right, you can see how it formed like almost a magnetic repulsion to those levels, right? So this formed a key level for that day. It put in a lower tail at that range. Now, oftentimes it clicks that, it ticks that, and we can use that as an opportunity, right? So a trading opportunity. So let's take another look. Let's find another example. So that showed it just repulsed. It was repulsed by that level, right? Let's take a look. I think Netflix put a few in recently, right? We talked about those the other day. So let's take a look on the shorter term time frames to see how those levels end up playing out. So we can see what day was it? Yes. So okay, good stuff. So we'll go here also 10:9 on the say the 5-minute chart. Okay. We'll go back this far. Oh, it's only 10 days. Give me one more second. 15, so 10:9 here. Wait a couple days here and here. We could look at both of those, but here was 10:10, so it was the next day. So let's go and look at those levels and see how they played out. And you can see how important they were. Okay, so you see how this level right here, how it cleared these levels in the morning, right? It showed strength through those levels, right? These are very, very key levels to get through, right? A gap below it, remember we talked about this is the reversal, and when we closed above it, that showed that it was closing above a key level. Other than that, there wasn't too much to work with. There was a floor pivot level in the prior day's close, but this gives you even more confidence to show that by closing above these levels and that prior pivot right there, that we had a nice chance to move to the next level up. So these are levels that we use intraday, and they are very valuable, and they oftentimes can play an important role in the trading trading day itself. So here's another example right here on the 21st. Okay. Right, so you can see we like to trade off of levels. And so you can see exactly how it held these levels, right? So remember here, it had the upper shadow at the 60 anchor high, right? Now we know this key level is being used, right? So we use it as a trigger signal off of our price action, right? To see which way, right, price can work, right? And then we can use that as a key level. So if there weren't like a closing, well, typically closing bar would be pretty close, but if there weren't like a floor pivot level there or an important level there, these will serve as great levels that we can use. And look how it hung around at that 60 anchor low for a very, very long time here. So it basically started to flag here, worked its way up here, gave a nice strong bar here, and then finally a nice continuation bar for a measured move up. So you can see how that helped us transition from level to level. Other than that, without this, if I remove this study, right, we're kind of lost in space. We don't know exactly where we are, but that does give us a very, very key level to use for the next day for trading from level to level. So good stuff. And that's pretty much it. So you can start to use those. Again, you can see the definition there. It's very powerful to trade at the open, but it's also powerful to give us levels throughout the day to look for key levels to trade off of. So especially if you use our go bars. So So good stuff. All right, guys. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug those into the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30. We'll try to wrap up by 10:30 to get a good night's sleep so we can have an awesome trading day on Friday. So good stuff. Just a quick reminder: tomorrow is Friday, so it's option expiration day. It also means it's Lotto day. Why is it Lotto day? Well, because theta declines really fast, which means there's more momentum, there's more implied volatility in the move. So if you can catch a good move, you can get a real quick spike in the options because theta is actually not holding the options back. Theta can benefit us, right? Because it helps the stocks move more like the stock itself. But when the stock moves really fast, the options move even faster on a Friday, or on an option expiration day. So that's something to do. But also be careful not to hold it over the weekend because we might get assigned, right? So that's the other thing to look at too. So it's Friday tomorrow. TGIF. Futures just tick green. I mean red. Interesting. Good stuff. All right, guys. Hey, guys. Good to see everybody. I'm going to get through Shirley's. She emailed those to me a little bit earlier, so we'll check those in a second. Okay, so Shirley, let's take a look here. So you have ABB. Okay, cool. A bit of a... one second, let me make sure everything gets loaded up here. Okay, so ABB. Yeah, definitely an ADR. You can tell by all the gaps and all that stuff. So it's definitely holding trend. So as long as it continues, it looks bullish until proven otherwise. AU. AU is very strong. Gold actually had a really, really strong day today. All the different type of golds, the miners, everything. This is a very strong close over this level right here. I would have liked to have seen more volume, especially considering yesterday was kind of like whatever type day, right? There was an upper shadow and that was about it, and increased volume. So we had decreased volume in that. Now, generally it is increasing, but this is very, very bullish right here. So very, very bullish candle. Again, for me, I would want to see a little more volume on it, but if that holds, it could continue right to the upside. So that's looking pretty bullish right there. I like how it came into our old pitchfork too. TAL. See, wow, yeah, big gap today. So that gapped up pretty nicely there. So let's see how that holds for us. Gapped over a lot of major levels right here. Increased volume. So yeah, that could have some promise for you right there. So that very, very interesting on that one. LVS was another one. Las Vegas Sands Corp. Let's take a look and see how that looks. I don't know about you guys. A couple of folks had reported some lag in their Thinkorswim today, so just bear with us in case there is any lag here. But so far so good. So this Las Vegas Sands is interesting, Shirley. Yeah, it did put in a fresh low right here. So here's the trend line. Here's the macro trend line. Right, you can kind of see where it's going to go like that. Okay, so we just got over that today. So that's a very, very key level for it to get over. Okay, so now we'll look for a bullish close above that. And then if it can do that, we might see a move up. So let's, I like that enough, Shirley, to add to the Lotto Fund list. So you made the list. Awesome. Give me 1 second. Let me update my ideas for tomorrow. 1 second. Let's see there, and the other thing too is we could also think next week's options when we're trading too. So if you don't feel like dealing with the crazy theta and lotto type stuff, just trade next week's options, right? You'll have a lot more theta into it than if you're trading Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right, of next week, and you can still capitalize on a good move on it. So so that's definitely something to think about there. So good. Good. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I know lots of questions and requests, but give me 1 second there. Okay. Good. All right. Sweet. Good stuff. LVS HMY. Harmony Gold. More gold. Nice. Let's take a look at this one. A little bit different here. But still looking pretty good. I would like to see a bullish close over today. It's actually based on that trend line, so that's something to keep an eye on there too. And then PG, guys, we talk about this a lot right here, and we talk about it in the private group too. But with PG, look what it did today, guys. This is key stuff, right? Okay, so instead of, like we talked about the one time, right, when we were looking at Street Smarts, the 3-day unfilled gap reversal, but oftentimes on a gap, when you get a push through that gap level high, right, you get an extra boost off of it, and that's really, really key. So if I show you these levels right here, okay, and here on the inside day, you can see exactly what happened, okay? We go to the shorter time frame, okay? This, and this. So look what happened, right? So we originally rejected the inside day high, came back down, hung out around the 15 orb low, didn't fill the what already filled the open gap right here, right? So it barely gapped up, just a little bit, filled that open gap, but it came down, it couldn't fill the closing gap down here, right? So I just wanted to point that out. See how there's still a gap there? There's a gap here, right? Even though this gap was filled, the open gap, right? Which is represented by this green line. So we filled that right away, but there's still a gap. You can see that, you can physically see the gap right there, and it actually starts right here, because that's where price finished, right? So if you own this price, if you own this stock the day before, you're owning it right there. So when you gap up, you're not gapping up from here, right? You're gapping from where you owned it, right? You see that? Okay, so eventually that does get filled, but it couldn't do it today, and so it thrust back through the inside day high, which is pretty close here, right, with a nice green bar, right? And then once it pushed through with this candle with increasing volume through not only the 15 orb but a key pivot level, right, and the inside day, that was a great place to enter, because why? This is your momentum level right here. This is your momentum level, and why is that? That's your gap level. That's your gap day high right here, right? The gap day high, that guy, right? And so once you got through that, if you're watching these, right, that's huge, because it gave you a perfect entry off of the inside day and the 15 orb, and then just like that. That was a huge move off of Procter & Gamble today. So anyway, Shirley, a little bit extra on that, but yeah, in general, it's pretty bullish. It did have a topping tail today, so just be careful with it. But it finally got a move after its last earnings. It was really, really just kind of pulling back a lot, sort of like up and then pull back. So yeah, so let's see if it holds those levels. It could not close at all-time highs. It could not close above all-time highs. All-time high close. It couldn't do it. So MBT, this I think was in the news today a little bit. I can't remember why. Either way, it was upper shadow, another upper shadow, Shirley. So just be careful with that. So other than that, it's still holding, its recent trend. So you have this right here to here to here. Okay, so that is that. All right, and this is actually another good example right here of a closing gap, right? So we gapped up today, and there's still an open gap. You can see the gap, right? But we closed down. Wait, actually, I don't know which way we closed. Disregard. Sorry. I thought I was using candle trend on it. This happens to correspond to both, right? There's an open gap there and the closing gap are identical. So, right, but anyway, disregard. Okay, cool. Good stuff. MicroTrader, good evening. Again, yes. Busy tonight. We did a whole webinar tonight for our group on Thinkorswim, because we have a lot of new members who've never used Thinkorswim before, and I don't particularly recommend one broker over another, but I certainly like the free tool that comes with a free account with TD Ameritrade, which is Thinkorswim, which is what we use here, and because you can do all sorts of good stuff. You can code in it and change the colors of your bars, and it's fun to work with, and it's got great data. So we did that tonight too, so that was fun. So Thomas, good evening. Matthew, good evening. Harvey, what's going on? I hope you had a great day today. MTNVR, what's going on? Did Roku really have an outside day by a penny? Does a penny matter on daily candles? It really does, MTN. It really does. Let's take a look. It matters by a lot. It really does. Because you continue to hold and hold and hold, right? So yesterday's high was 131.87, and today's high was 131.88. It passed above yesterday's high. Right? And the reason it does, MTN, the reason it matters so much is people put stops there. They put stops like 1 penny above the prior day's high. They're like, oh, if I could hold that right there. So that's why it matters, right? Because you could take out that stop and then change position, right? So very it matters. It does, because it changes everything, right? But what if 1 penny doesn't matter, then what about 2 pennies, then 3 pennies, then 10 pennies, then 100 pennies? Every penny counts. It's the difference between one setup or another. It really is. It's pretty amazing, and it's because of that too, because there's real money, with a penny. If you have 1,000 shares of something on a penny, I mean that adds up. You know, it adds up. So good stuff. But it is funny. I totally see where you're coming from. Paul, what's happening? ATVI. Just curious, as it is close to breaking through into the gap from 912, I believe. Yeah, let's take a look. So ATVI. Okay. So we are ATVI. We've got. Okay, so 912. Am I looking at the right thing? ATVI 912. Okay, so right now we're just kind of in here, right? So right now there actually is no gap like in this area, right? All the gaps have been filled, right? So there's continuity between all the closes and everything, right? So right now there is no gap, right? There was a gap here. You can see there was an open gap here, but that got filled by this bar, right? There was an open gap here, and that got filled by this bar, right? There is an open gap here still that has not been filled yet. You can see there's no, right? There's no space. It tried to get filled here. It went into the gap here from that day. But there's nothing yet that's touched that space yet since it moved above it, right? So that gap is open, right? Yeah, so that gap is open. There's looks like possibly an open gap here. That high here was 45.73. The low here was 45.79. So there is actually an open gap right here and a closing gap. There's two of those right there. So it has that to work with. Now, what is ATVI doing? Nothing. It really is doing nothing. It's between like two trend lines, which I really like how NetFry calls it the Bermuda Triangle. I love it. It's just kind of stuck in no man's land right here. We want it to get above a level and start to push. Right now, it's doing nothing. It needs to at least get over here, right? Or get under here. If it got under here, then it has a good chance of filling that gap. Hopefully that makes sense. Alfredo, what's going on? How are you? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Experience and thoughts. What's up? Good evening. Hey, did you do a video on setting up TOS? I did, and it's posted in the private group. I just posted it. The recording is there. So I go through everything. We go through all this stuff here, the watch list. We go through all these tabs up here. We go through everything up here. We go through all this stuff. We go through all these tabs down the side and some other neat stuff too. It was a good time. MTMVR, how does GLD volume look today after getting out of that downward trend line? Not enough? Thanks. You got it. So GLD, let's take a look. Volume looks good. I like the increasing volume. Let's remove some of this stuff. Remove. Okay, so interestingly enough, let's do it here. Here. Okay, we have our high here, our low here. Whoop. There's our trend line, and yes, we popped through that today with increasing volume, but just because we got through it doesn't mean we're ready yet. We need to close above that. Now we've created our first minor pivot level, right? We need to close above that bullishly, right, with a nice candle, no upper shadows and all that stuff, with increasing volume. And if we do, then we could see a possible pop through the cloud, maybe get to this pitchfork level and continue to work its way up. So that's what we're waiting on there. But yeah, nice volume today. Really, gold's something else, I tell you. It was on fire today. Experience and thoughts. PayPal. What an incredible move today. It's incredible. Yeah, big gap up, and look where it gapped to. Can you see that? Gap right to the cloud and then back down. You gotta love the cloud. It would have been nice if it closed bullishly above it. Let's say like here with like a big hammer or something like that, and then we could see it into the cloud. The volume's good and all that because it closed over this minor pivot right here. That's your turning point pivot right there. Once it closes over that, we're good. So now we've created a new turning point pivot today, so we have to close bullishly above that going forward to see if we can get maybe to the top of the cloud. So, but yeah, big gap up today for PayPal. Oh, and Tesla. Oh, Tesla. So yeah, so some people got paid today, right? Anybody who is like, I think I'll buy the 300 calls. Let's just look at those, right? So the Tesla 19 1025Cs, the 300s. Okay, so let's see where they closed yesterday and how they gapped up. Come on now. Did I not put in Tesla? I did. There it is. Okay, guys. So closed yesterday at 40 cents. I know it would be nice at 15 cents. Closed at 40 cents and got all the way up today to $8.90. How about that? Pretty incredible stuff, right? So, right? So a 22x trade. So 22x trade, 22 bagger. Gotta love that. That makes for a nice lotto on a slow Thursday morning, right? So pretty impressive. Yeah, Tesla is hot today. So, but let's take a look and see where it is. Okay, so let's get it loaded up here. All right, so this is a big deal where it came, right? So remember how we just looked at Procter & Gamble and how it pushed over the gap up high? Tesla is a fantastic candidate for that. Okay, so a push over today's high could be really, really good. Okay, depending how you draw this. One second. Yeah, go up here. So the macro trend line, it's like right at it, right there, right? So a push above it could get extra momentum. A close above it could give you more momentum, right? So that's what we're looking for on Tesla. I want to see it push over those highs. So some sort of setup like PG would be great, right? Where it had the inside day. So if tomorrow was like an inside day, and then Monday we could grab that inside day up and then take the gap up high out. We could get a nice spike out of that. And then if we closed above it, it could with increased volume. As the inside day would be perfect because it would decrease volume, and then if we had a strong day on Monday, it would give us increased volume, and then we could hopefully see a nice move on Tesla now that the premiums are reasonable. So good stuff. LRCX also had an awesome day. Guys, one of the things we look at when we have a gap and go, so Tesla was okay. It still had levels that it has to contend with above, right, and below. But LRCX gapped above everything, so that makes it good gap and go potential. That's why you see this awesome candle. Now, never is that perfect. It's not like just enter and it goes long, right? It is a process, right? Just like anything. All right, so it still went up and it came back down, gave some pain, right? This is some pain right here, right? That's not cool. Right? Not only is it 3 bars down, but it's really more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars down. That hurts, right? That's over an hour of pain, right? When you're expecting this thing to go, and then it finishes up and it gives you that beautiful green candle on the daily. It's like, but let me show you one thing that we do, right? In our group is we look at the pre-market box, right? The pre-market box is important, right? These are all the levels that are key, like from the morning, and you can get a nice momentum move on a gap and go through there. Now it's nice to see it close above it, but sometimes you can get that just push, and that's what it did. So it moved right from 252 all the way up to 259 in a matter of like minutes, right? So if you got like this morning, right through that level, right in the first few minutes, it just the LRCX, just say 191025 calls, just say like the 255s, just for instance. So those went really, really quickly here. We would have caught it somewhere in this range on this candle. So boom, here, somewhere around $2, maybe even $2.30, and then we're really, really quick to $6.50, right? Phenomenal stuff, right? That's why you got to move stops really quickly on these things. Boom, you take your profit, move on, right? And then you can look for other setups later. Ultimately, if you held it all day though, from $2, they went up to $9. But you had to deal with this pain, right? It came all the way up. You're still up a point, but you left 4 points back there, so it's tough, right? And then even here, it pulled back right away to those levels, made it really, really challenging. But look at that, all the way up to almost $10 from $2. Really, really amazing stuff. So the market takes care of the patient. It flusters and frustrates the impatient, and oftentimes takes their money. So just something to remember. INTC. We gotta write these down. Like anytime I say something cool like that, like we gotta like have like these like bubbleheadisms and stuff, and then like so I can like tweet them out. All right, cool. So Intel, nice move after hours, right? If you guys caught the market wrap, I was like, Intel was like, yeah, look at me, guys. And meanwhile, everybody's looking at Amazon. He's like, hey, where's everybody going? Where, right? Look at that. It even came all the way back to the same levels right there. Pretty crazy. And then it came up right here. So I don't know how the Nasdaq is green, but apparently being up 1 point, a point and a half on Intel is enough to hold the market up because Amazon's down 120, right? Just don't quite understand the calculations there, but it is what it is. So we'll definitely Intel will definitely be on the radar for tomorrow. Let's see. So we've got Amazon, we've got Intel, and other fun stuff, I'm sure. Good. Good. PayPal might actually be a pretty good reversal. Good. And then Amex, what's happening? RD. Hi, Apple, Hanging Man, Shop, and Amazon. Yeah, so let's take a look at Apple. Oh, it'd be so interesting to see where we're at in the morning. Where's my candle chart? There we go. Okay. So Apple, yes, Hanging Man up here, right on the bump and run. So eventually it could break down into this bump and get here, and then start to work its way back down. But we shall see. We've got earnings coming up pretty soon here, corresponding with these Hanging Mans and all that stuff. So will they miss like Amazon did? If they did, we got a gap here. We got a gap here. We got a gap here. Got a gap here. Right? It's been. It's on a house of cards, right? It's got a weak foundation with all these gaps. So it trades like an ADR. It's really funny, but yeah, definitely interesting. Shop. Let's see if that trades at all in sympathy. It is down. Wow, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. It's down 9 points. So we'll see how that holds in more. And Shop can do anything too. So it has its earnings coming up, and its premiums are starting to get expensive. So that's something to look at. Amazon, of course. Amazon is gapping down to like that 1650-ish level, right? So we're going to see it kind of come in around here. Who knows where it'll be in the morning? But there is a little bit of support, prior support here, so it's below that. There is a gap down here around 1625, and then you got some support here at 1588. So we'll see. It could be a wild one tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it to see. Great stuff. Leo, what's happening? ONCE. ONCE. Let's take a look. Spark Therapeutics. Yes, thank you for mentioning this one today. This one had a big move today. Trying to remember exactly what the story was. Was it like a buyout or something like that? Anyway, it had a big move today, huge move, big volume, big upper shadow, so it makes it tough. So at this point, we have to see how its behavior is tomorrow, right? If it can hold within this range. It's basically kind of pushed up to like prior resistance, right? So there's some selling pressure in that area. So we'll see if it can build strength, maybe with an inside day or a hammer, kind of in this area, and then start to work its way back up. TTD. Get it pulled up here. Give it a second. It's getting late. The computer's getting tired. A little data delay there. TTD. TTD. Today. A little bit slow there. Give it a second. Sometimes it gets a little tired at night. It was a pretty interesting day. There were some folks that reported, some data delays today with various brokers. I actually had some weird internet issues today, but everything was moving smooth a little bit ago. But let's see if this will pull up. Give it a second. Let's see if I can pull it up in another window. That's just the data it's trying to get. The delay is very odd. Everything looks okay. Connected. Internet looks good. My little thinkorswim delay right here. Give it a moment. We broke it. I'm gonna pull up TradingView in the background just in case, but it does have trouble kind of getting through. Waiting for data. Testing internet looks okay. It's a data issue. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let's see if I can get another window up while it's doing that. An alternative. One sec. We're getting there. All right, let's see. Remove this. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to switch over to TradingView here. Give me a second. What have I done? You guys still there? Hold on. All right, let me remove this. 1 second. All right, let me add. Yeah, it's definitely a thinkorswim issue here. Let me add, see if I can find this. Can you guys see this? So really odd is this broadcaster doesn't show Chrome for some reason. You guys can't see that, can you? Okay. I don't know why it doesn't show Chrome. It's really odd. Hmm. 1 second. Try Internet Explorer. Access denied. 1 second. I can't believe how long the data is taking to load. I don't know why it's not letting me pull it up. It just crashed Internet Explorer. Let's try that again. Yep, gotcha. Let's try this as it gets loaded up. 1 second. It's odd when it does this. All right, let's see how this looks. Can you guys see the actual chart here? Can you guys see this chart? It looks blank to me for some reason. I don't know why it's not showing anything, but Oh, I don't know if you guys can see the chart here. It doesn't seem to be coming through. I'm not sure what's going on with the data stream right here, but let me see if I can run through, just kind of go through some questions real quick and just see what's happening. I wish I could share it, but it doesn't seem to be coming through. So let's see. So TTD, just real quick, just from what I could see here, even though you can't see the possibly can't see the chart. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is looking. It has to, honestly, I can see here, it has to basically get over that 211 level from the from October 15th. Um, so that 211, 212 level, it needs to close bullishly above that. Um, so that's what I see there. And then Google's been a little messed up. I haven't really traded Google in a while. Uh, okay, yeah, I got your trade station. Okay, no, I'm not going to upgrade right now. Okay, there we go. All right, so here, Google's really weird. It's basically it's kind of tough right here. It's got a doji day, so maybe a doji sandwich potential on that one. So yeah, so that's what I'm seeing on Google. Sorry guys if you can't see anything here. If I hold an option into Saturday after expiration, what happens? And an Amex. Okay, so if you hold an option into Saturday after expiration, it all depends if you're in the money or if you're out of the money. Okay, if you're out of the money, for the most part, most brokers you will not get assigned, right? Okay, but if you're in the money, then you could get assigned, right? So then you wake up on Saturday morning and suddenly you have, if you have one contract, right, that's equal to 100 shares of stock. So suddenly you'll have 100 shares in your account, and if you don't have the money to cover it, you get a margin call on it to put the money in to make sure that you have it. Most brokers are pretty helpful with that, but it can be pretty scary, especially when it happens automatically over the weekend. So you can call them and be like, I don't know how I got assigned all that stuff. So best to make sure you don't have that, right? So if you're out of the money, you should be okay. Okay, most brokers are cool with that. Sean, PDD and AVLR. Let's see. I know you guys probably can't see any of this stuff, so sorry about that. But just to hopefully you can kind of get the idea here. Let me actually close Thinkorswim at this point. Oh no, TTD came back. Hold on one second, guys. TTD just popped up on Thinkorswim. Oh, we have charts again. Okay, good. So here's TTD, right? You can see it is, kind of working on this little crazy level right here. It's too big to be a bull flag versus because the flagpole isn't big enough. So we kind of have that going on right there. And then the Google was, okay, if this takes too much on that. Oh, wait for it. Okay, there we go. So you can see here with Google, right? You have this kind of upward trend line right here. But it's basically like a doji, like right at those levels. So what I said earlier is it could be a doji sandwich up, right? It could be a doji sandwich up. There's something to think about on that. And then PDD. PDD, whoa, huge day today. Big move up to a whole number. That's very, very bullish. Very strong on that. Extremely super strong, incredible stuff right there. That's a big move right there. It's hard to go long there because you're at all-time highs. It's like it's scary, but it is a very, very bullish candle. Honestly, yesterday was a good day to be long on this thing. A pretty good day. A little decreased volume, so I probably actually would have avoided it. This was a good day to be long here because that closed above this minor pivot, right? Not too much of an upper shadow. Had a little bit of pain right here, but it would have been worth it, right? So that's pretty amazing right there. And then ALVR, and that's using our techniques to have caught that. Alvarian. A little bit of a data issue here. Here we go again. I don't think we're gonna have too much luck here, going through the rest of these. Just having some data issues. Just weird how it kind of came in here, but yeah. So basically, we'll check on that. Mookout of America, what's up? BA and Dow. I know BA was putting in like a little bit of I believe it was a bear flag earlier. So just kind of have to keep an eye on it right now. It seems to be holding its levels though. Godwin, what's going on? How would you have gone about the 15 orb trade on Tesla today? Was skeptical about a short entry since it had so much strength with the bullish catalyst. I agree. So really, what happened is with Tesla, just from what I recall, is that it started to break down under the 15 orb, and we were looking to take it short, but it put in like a lower shadow like too quickly, so we were waiting for confirmation on that one, and it just never gave it. And then trying to get a reversal off of that, it paused at the lows later, and then you could have looked for a reversal back into the range, but it just didn't really give them any setups today. So it was just kind of like blah, for the most part, which is a little bit weird after all that. But yeah, definitely skeptical as a short because of the strength. But they tried to push it down a little bit. So sometimes you just pass, right? So that's what I did. You don't have to trade every 15 orb. I mean, like I looked at it, I saw some weakness on it, and I just passed on it. Thomas, what's going on? AAL. So yeah, AAL, if I recall, did it reverse today? I wish I could pull the chart up, but I can kind of take a look at it on the. I know you guys probably wouldn't be able to see this anyway. I don't know why the data is not coming through. But yeah, AAL, yeah, pretty decent. It closed with a doji today, so not much really going on with that. So I'd kind of just wait a little bit on that. Matthew, GDX falling wedge. I know you guys can't see the charts. I'm just pulling it up individually here on TradingView, and I don't think it was coming through. So GDX, yeah, kind of a little bit of falling wedge breakout. Basically we look at if you just draw a trend line, the way we draw trend lines, you don't even have to look at the falling wedge. It's like, is it breaking out of the trend line or not, right? So that's what we look for. But for the most part, I can kind of see it's basically right at that level. So it'll take a few days for this thing to confirm. Emmanuel, what's going on? Med and AMA. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can actually see this screen, but I mean I could pull it up. I don't know if it's really even coming through. It looks blank when I see it, but Med. Medifast. Let's see. Interesting. There's a kind of like a high up here. Okay. Kind of here. So yeah, it needs a stronger close, but it's getting there. And then MA. Actually put in almost a Morningstar reversal today, but not quite because it didn't close. Yesterday's real body wasn't below the prior day's real body, but it looks interesting. It's kind of in a choppy range right now. I really wouldn't mess with MA here. So, hey, and an Amex, which is more powerful, the open gap or closing gap? I mean, that's debatable, right? We looked at that strategy, the 3-day unfilled gap reversal, right? So within 3 days, the open gap is very powerful. Later, that closing gap just becomes a target. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, they're still magnets. There are still magnets, but it could take time. It could take time to fill, but they always do. That's okay, Paul, about the date. But yeah, you saw what I was talking about with the gas. But right now, it's just kind of in no man's land, so I wouldn't even mess with it. But yeah, if it broke down, there was that gap down below. Twitter got beat up today pretty good. It was yeah, I mean, it's just weak right here. I think it got a slew of downgrades intraday. So we'll see because it basically gapped down to some support from back in February, March of 2019. So let's see how it holds those levels. If it gets below those levels, we might see some more downside. So that's definitely something to look at. And so no problem, MTN. Hey, good morning, Wendy. I know you guys probably can't see this screen right here, but we'll still talk through it, and then we'll just think of it as like a radio recording, right? But MU. Not Mr. MU. Yeah, strong day today on MU. Very strong. Let's see. Yeah, nice close today on MU. I can't really see the volume with this, but it's It looks like it was a strong close today, so that is bullish. NetEase had a nice reversal today, I recall, and then JP Morgan, I think, was still strong. Yeah, but ended up closing red, so just be careful with that as a possible hanging man. So, I know, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for hanging in there, guys. Emmanuel, Orly, ascending triangle, and break of VR. Let's say ORLY. Yeah, big day right there. Big move on O'Reilly. And so yeah, nice ascending triangle right there, and then a break above it. So it looks pretty good. I would expect some consolidation after that, but keep an eye on those highs. Good stuff. Experience and thoughts. Shop and CMG. Shop we looked at briefly. Big move there. It's down after hours. Today was actually a Morningstar reversal on Shop, so that's something to keep an eye on. And those pullbacks can be bullish, so that's something to think of there. And then CMG. I don't know. It's not really transmitting. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but inside day on CMG, so that's definitely worth keeping an eye on. A little bit of an upper shadow. So it's okay, Gia. Most people missed it too because I don't see any. I don't see. Oh, you missed the TOS recap. It's okay. It's recorded, so you can always check that out later. But obviously, if you have any questions, you can just email me or DM me. So J&J, I would expect some more bearish follow through on that one. It had the CVS removing their product from the shelves. I don't know why they've all waited so long for this. Johnson & Johnson, they should have come out right away and recalled all their products, and just done the right thing. It's basically right at support right here, so just kind of see how it holds right there. But it is very, very bearish on J&J. Dell. Dell is kind of consolidating right here. It needs to get over the high of October 15th. McDonald's was weak today. Great job. That was a swing trade that we had in the group, and had nice continuation. Basically, it was like a spinning top sandwich down today. It came right to support. So now we'll just kind of see where it is here. It hit my target basically today. So nice stuff there. And then Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia may be working on a doji sandwich right now, so that's a possibility. Andy, how's it going? Yeah, sorry for all the not being able to see everything, but yeah, CRM could be interesting. Nice gap up today, looking bullish, right? CRM is really tough to trade and draw trend lines on, but it can move. AMD. Generally looking okay. It's kind of chopping around in there. Not quite a Morningstar reversal. Just kind of is chopping. I might be working on a bull flag. And then Caterpillar. Caterpillar. Interesting. I mean, had weak earnings, started to fall down today, but basically like an extended hanging man type thing. So interesting stuff. Experience and thoughts. What's your take on January expiration 350 to 360 strikes on Tesla just to trade them so this way premium doesn't decay fast like the weeklies? Yeah, I mean you can trade that. I mean if honestly you could trade if you wanted to trade like like the stock, just go in the money, right? Just go in the money and far dated, right? And it'll trade more like the stock, right? Not quite like the stock, but yeah, you save a little money that way. And then, I mean, instead of buying weeklies, why not buy 3 months out? When we said, yeah, it just doesn't move like our crazy, 3x trades and 10x trades and stuff like that. Like it moves more like the stock. So yeah, you can certainly do it. And then TC2000, yeah, we'll check that out. But you got to pay them. So Giovanni, no, I know, guys, it's blank. I'm sorry. I know it's all. I'm sorry. But it's still loading that ALVR, so we would just be sitting here waiting. So it just is what it is. Sometimes it's tough with rough internet. But with Amazon down, do you expect the market to go down like the Google Shop and a few others? I mean, Shop's kind of down in sympathy right now, but it's hard to say. I mean, like the Nasdaq is still up. You'd expect that to be down with Amazon down. So I don't. Anything could happen tomorrow. I mean, Amazon could like literally reverse and move back up 100 points. I mean, we've seen Netflix do that when it gapped down huge. So just have to be prepared for that. I mean, the market doesn't seem to be really hurt by it. So we'll have to see what kind of follow through that gets. So good stuff. And then Sherry, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. And then Cat, we just talked about there. It had a nice move up. It's not looking bearish or bullish. It's just kind of like an inside day red candle, So we'll just have to see where that goes. But anyway, guys, sorry for the blank charts there. We're just having some data issues here. I mean, Thinkorswim is still loading. So, but hey, we'll be back at it, and I'll work on upgrading the internet too. Maybe that'll help too. So, but anyway, good stuff. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and thank you for your support. And this has been a great discussion this week. Fortunately, we got through all the technical topics and all that stuff, and I just wish I could have shown you the charts that we talked about. But I hope everybody has a good rest of your evening and a blessed weekend. And tomorrow's Friday, and we'll be back Sunday night. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and remember your risk first, and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.